felt like I was really watching a love story unfold in front of me of people I've known my entire life that were always meant to be together. This book had me crying for happiness for the characters. This is one of the best romance books that I've read this year. Definitely a 5-star. This book is a second chance romance, but it's done so differently from ones that I've read in the past. This couple in particular, you have Ellis and Ren. Ellis is a firefighter and Ren is a bakery shop owner. They've known each other their whole lives, like all the way from when they were younger until they became older. They fell in love. They've been in love basically their entire lives. I'm talking tethered soul type of love. Ren ended up becoming pregnant when they were really young and they had a son together. They got married. They did the whole thing. And along the way, life happened and it got really hard for them to process and work on together. And they reached a point in their marriage where they decided that they might just be happier off and better off for their son and for themselves if they just divorced. The twist in this is that neither one of them wanted the divorce. Neither one of them wanted to be separate from each other. They both loved each other so incredibly much, but life was just too hard in that moment for them to really reconnect and work through those things together. So it was a moment in their lives where things were coming from different directions. And it wasn't just about just one final thing that happened in their relationship. The story picks up when their son that they had is graduating high school and going off to college. And by this point, they've been divorced for about 5 years. They have not been together. They've dated other people. They've always secretly wanted to be with the other person, wanted to figure out why it didn't work out, and longed for each other. The longing in this book is something that I have not read in a long time. This is longing on both sides for each other. I just fell in love with the characters and I was rooting from them from like literally the first chapter. It is funny. There's like banter and tension along the way as well. I listened to this on audio, which I definitely recommend. The audio is phenomenal. Okay, it's phenomenal in audio. And I wouldn't even say that this is an issue of miscommunication because I know a lot of people have issues with the miscommunication trope where it's like if they would have just talked, everything would have worked out. This is real life hard shit that they were working through. Real life that if you think about yourself as a human, as an individual, as someone in a relationship, that you would have a really hard time talking about and communicating because you don't really understand it yourself. And that's exactly what was going on in this book. Is it wasn't that they were miscommunicating over one singular fight or one singular situation. It was a complex marriage and relationship and situation where a bunch of negative things had started compounding and they didn't know how to process it on their own, let alone together. And that's kind of what made them drift apart and disconnect. Now, this is the first book that I've read by Tara DeWitt. This is Left of Forever. And I realized after reading it that this is actually the second book of interconnected standalones in a series. That when they finally decide to go for it, I cried. I'm a big sissy baby and I will admit it. And I loved every second of it. And the way that it ended in the very last chapter, oh, I want to cry right now thinking about it. The very last chapter of their story and the way that it wrapped up and the way that everybody in their family just left off on like such a happy ending makes me so incredibly happy for those characters. I felt like I was really watching a love story unfold in front of me of people I've known my entire life that were always meant to be together. And it was beautiful. And I love this book and this is why I read and I definitely recommend that you check it out. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.